I've been running from it, almost out of oxygen, hiding from it, trying to dodge the consequence. I've been running till my wheels fall off. Lord, tell me where the miracle goes. I've been.
What's up, y'all? It's your boy, Anime Reaper, back for another video. And let's go. So, y'all already know what this is. This is part 6 to What If Deku Was a Ghoul. And let's go. So, in this part, we're actually doing. Okay, let me just jump straight into it. So, maybe like a week or two after the stain incident, the whole thing is over. Or I cannot remember this. Internship arc is over. And yeah, so they go back to school, and like 2 days into being back at school, they're told that they're gonna be doing a fight. It's actually them against their teachers, and they see him, and then All Might lands, and they're like, everyone's like, hold up, we have to go against All Might. He's literally the #1 hero. That's not fair. And they see all the teachers have weights, so All Might actually says, don't worry, and puts on extra weights. And says, see, now it'll be fair. And every team goes the exact same, except Midoriya and Bakugo's. So, Bakugo and Midoriya actually have a good idea. They're like, All Might is probably right at the entrance, so why don't we split up? And when I go on the right side, and you stay on the left side, and we run. And at every alleyway, we wait till we see the other one, and then we go. And once we get closer, I can run out at All Might, and you can run behind him, hit him with an explosion, and then we can get out without even having to really fight him. And Bakugo says, yeah, sounds like a plan, let's go. Ain't no way we'll be the #1 hero. And that's what they do. And they're running, but they didn't expect that All Might would expect that. So when Deku pops out and Bakugo doesn't, All Might instantly grabs Deku and holds him up and turns Deku around. Basically, when Bakugo throws the explosion, he hits Deku, and Deku is like, ah, crap. And All Might throws Midoriya at the ground, and then grabs Bakugo and slams him, and is holding Bakugo there. And Bakugo tries to throw an explosion. That's when All Might slaps his hand, and Bakugo's on the ground, and All Might stands on him. And that's when Deku gets up and is like, fine, and punches All Might dead where his thing is from fighting All For One, and All Might coughs up blood and drops to the ground. And that's when Deku and Bakugo grab their fists, they reach him back, and they punch him both at the same time, sending All Might flying. And that's when they run, and they high-five each other and run. And yeah, they actually complete that pretty easy. And yeah, so a couple weeks passed, and they all are at school, and they all actually are going to a field trip. But before that, they all go on a field trip, and they feel like, oh, we're going for the training thing, blah blah blah, this, blah blah blah, that. So yeah, they go for the training thing, and when they get there, they don't get there. They get to the mountain, and they all fall again. And Deku's like, come on, guys, we got this. Just stay, and he's like, just team up. And Deku runs in. And Deku, he not playing no games. He made his tentacles sharpen, and he's just stabbing the things and ripping them apart. And he's demolishing them. And Deku is so strong, and he was moving so fast that by the time all of like the pussycats or the two pussycats and Coda or not, I don't know. Yeah, I think his name was Coda. Coda and Eraserhead got there. The kids were already there. They were already there, bro. They were just at the entrance. Like, they had just got there, but they still beat the teachers there. And the teachers didn't have to fight. They just drove. And they beat them there. So, yeah, everyone is stronger. So, during this, Deku actually is like, oh, well, what are we gonna, do we get to eat? And they're like, yeah. And then Deku sees Koda, and Deku talks to Koda. And Koda does the same thing where he hits him in his stuff. But Deku just looks at him and is like, really? Alright. And Koda just looks at him and is like, oh, okay, let me get out of here. Because Koda's like, crap, that didn't hurt him? Okay, let me get out of here. Goodbye. And yeah. So, everything else pretty much goes the same except for the training. Deku's training actually will be different because of his quirk. So, basically, Deku will still do strength training, but his training will also be like, they probably like, the person who can control his blood, I forget what his name is, but he's class B, 1B teacher. So, he would actually use his quirk, and he would, take his blood and pour it into like a cup, and he would make like something on deck, like in a cup, and Deku would have to sit there in front of it without trying to drink the cup or nothing. Cause remember, Deku, he can drink blood, all sorts of stuff, like anything open wounds. He needs to learn, cause he actually does get hungry when he sees like a huge open wound or something like that. So yeah, but they're all sleeping, and they were sleeping, but then they woke up to do the fun training whatever thing, the thing where they try to scare each other. So they're out doing that when the villains attack, and this timeline, Deku still went to Koda and, knows Koda's little secret hidden spot. And Deku, his eyes widen. And he's like, crap. And he runs off. And the two villains look and they're like, wait, was that one of the kids we were sitting here to capture? Whatever. And he runs off. And he goes up to the mountain and he kicks Muscler dead in the face and grabs Koda and tells him to get back. And then that's when Muscler says, hey kid, you wouldn't happen to know where Bakugo was? And a kid named Midoriya. And his eyes widen, and that's when Muscler is like, I think you might be one of them, aren't you? You don't look like your name would be Bakugo. You must be Midoriya, huh? Well, you're coming with us. And he's like, no, I'm not. And he tries to stab Muscler. Because he's like, this is a villain. I don't care if I hurt you. So he stabs Muscler with his tentacle. And Muscler's like, strong but weak. And he basically pulls it out. And he breaks it. I don't know if you can break those. But we're going to act like they're like an extension of his body. So you can break his. And he snaps it. And Deku's like, because that's literally the only part of his body that you can hurt. Because it's like an extension of his body. But it's tough, but it's not too tough. You hear what I'm saying? He can still feel pain, like if All Might hit him or something. So if Muscler hit him, then yeah, he would feel pain. So he's sitting there. He basically stabbing Muscler and pulling his tentacles back because he knows he doesn't want Muscler to grab him. But he stabs Muscler, and Muscler's like, all right, time to not play games. And this whole time, Deku has been smelling flesh, and he's been wondering, why is he smelling flesh? What is dead, or what is wrong? And Muscler takes off his cape, And that's when Deku sees that's what he's been smelling. And he says, Koda, I want you to run now. Run, Koda, run. And Koda takes off. Koda's dipping. And this is when Deku, he says, finally, something I can eat. And Muscle looks at him, and Muscle's like, what's wrong with you, kid? And that's when Deku says, nothing. Nothing is wrong with me. Something's gonna be wrong with you, though. And he charges Muscler, and that's when he bites Muscler, and Muscler screams out, and he's like, get off of me, kid, and throws him against the wall. And he says, we're here to take you, just calm down, and we won't even hurt you. And that's when Deku's like, I know, because I'm going to hurt you. And he bites him again. And this is when Deku crawls on his back and is biting him over and over, tearing at his flesh and tearing at his muscles because they're growing back. So Deku sees no reason to stop eating. Deku is just chewing at the man. He eating that man. That man's just screaming in pain because Deku is biting him nonstop. Deku was eating that. He's getting eaten. And Muscler, the pain overwhelms him and he passes out. And Deku gets full and Deku wipes his mouth and Muscler reheals. And that's when Deku looks at his head and kicks him in his head. Boom, 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 3 times. He doesn't kill him, but it puts him into kind of like a comatose state. He's not in a coma. He's kind of in a coma now, cause Deku kicked his head in. So that's when Deku runs and finds Koda and says, "Come on," and runs and drops Koda off with Eraserhead. And that's when Deku's running and he sees the villain about to do the thing to the girl with the sword. I don't know. And he kicks the sword and breaks it. And the other 2 villains are like, get him! And he runs off. And that's when he runs into what's his name? I don't remember. His name not Shoto. I don't remember his name. But he runs into him. And he's like, what's this darkness? And he says, it's Tokiyami. He's lost control of Dark Shadow. And all they hear is Tokiyami scream, run! And that's when Deku has a perfect idea. Deku's like, look, we both extend our arms and run. I can protect your arms while he is looking at your arms. And then I can, if he comes too close, I can swat him away with mine. And we can probably lead him over somewhere to maybe Bakugo or Todoroki, because they have fire quirks, which fire makes light. And that's when he's like, all right, and they do it, and they run into Bakugo and him, and they basically calm him down, but not before Dark Shadow takes out Moonfish. Yeah, so that's 2 of them down. Tetsu takes out the 1 villain. And that's 3 down. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's it. That was all taken down. That was captured. So yeah. And that's when they basically run away. And Deku, instead of it being Tokiyami and freaking what's his name that got taken, or what not what's his name? Instead of it being, no, it's not, Tokiyami and Bakugo, it was actually Bakugo and Deku. They got taken. And they're all looking around for them when they see the villain saying, ha, got your friends. And they're both flipping out. Everyone's flipping out. And that's when they're all trying to chase the villain down. And Deku and Bakugo actually get taken. And they both are like, everyone just stay back. And when they go into the portal, they smile at each other. They look at everyone else, and they let off a grin. Because you know what's going down. The both of them? What? You're not keeping both of them trapped nowhere. You best have someone who can nullify quirks. Matter of fact, Deku's is not even a quirk. So, I don't know what you finna do. So, they both get taken, and they both are looking at each other. And Deku puts 3 fingers up, and Bakugo nods. And that's when the villains start talking to him. And Deku puts 2 fingers up, and Bakugo nods. And then 1. Then Bakugo nods. That's when Deku lets out his tentacles, and he breaks the restraints on him and Bakugo, and lets off and actually does a move he's been working on, where he takes his tentacles, and he actually makes extra ones, or he doesn't need extra ones. He actually has 8. He basically just puts all of them at the villains, and then makes them sharp, or like he adds more spikes to them. And says, "Move and I'll kill all of you." And that's when he breaks the computer, severing One For All's thing. And remember, Kirishima and the rest of them went to the place that Deku and Bakugo are about to get transported when All For One opens the portal and teleports both of them there. And they don't even know that Bakugo has One For All. So, yeah. They both get teleported there, and they're both standing, and they're like, huh, what is this? And they look at each other, and they both, they were actually coughing at first, but they look at each other, and they get ready to fight. Because Deku realizes all the villains are not there, that he doesn't know where they are, and they turn around, and all the villains are there, and Deku lets out his things, but that's when he says, stop. That's when he hears a stop. And all their friends actually turn around, and they see him, and that is when Momo and Ida actually make them run away, or they don't make them run away. They start thinking of a plan to save them without fighting, and they basically come up with not the same plan at all. Because they actually come up with a plan that Kirishima and Todoroki do not follow. So, this is what happens. The heroes come, right? They do all that stuff. But instead of Bakugo getting out of there, when All Might hits him, Deku and Bakugo instantly rush the rest of the villains. Boom, knock them all out. Then they start helping. They actually start helping All Might fight him, and both of them are enough to take down One For All. So All Might stops, and he turns and sees the crew, and he's like, "Look, right there. That's the future. Those are the 2 future heroes. Those are the 2 future symbols of peace, right there." And he's basically talking like. And blah, blah, blah. He's basically just, like, saying, these 2 are my successors. I trained these 2. These 2 are my successors. They can take down this villain that is tough for me like he's nothing. And that's when All Might goes back into the fight and says, 100%. And Bakugo says, too. But Bakugo says, 100% explosion. All Might says 100% Detroit Smash. And that's when Deku, he lets out his tentacles. And he says, and Deku actually has a special move. He calls it Spike. That's literally his special move. He just says, Spike! And all his tentacles come out and they get really sharp. And from the back, he stabs One For All. From up above, All Might hits him. And from in his stomach, Bakugo hits him. And this basically knocks him out. And, like, he's messed up really, really bad. Like, he's messed up bad. So, yeah. But, y'all, that's actually the end of this. We got one more part. Literally, one more part. and to this. So yeah, maybe one or two, but I'm actually gonna be looking for another what if to do after this one, and I'll completely set that one up. So if you have any, then comment them down below. The one with the most likes, is the one I will choose. So yeah, and yeah, that's gonna be the end of this video, and I will see all of y'all in the next video. Peace.